Right now, Nikita, let's start with programmatic.
Do you hear me? Yeah, okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is Nikita Pasynkov, and I would like to speak today more on the practical side of programmatic buying with Yandex. And to start with, well, just a quick question. Well, how many of you actually right now have programmatic buying as an important channel in your, well, buying strategy? Someone raise hands. Okay, great, good. And, well, for those of you who have raised hands, does it always run for you, well, smoothly, and everything runs great when you, well, manage all your campaigns right now in terms of especially transparency of inventory, quality of inventory, and using your data? No? No raised hands, so I believe, yes, actually it's quite an issue for you. And, well, if it can calm you, you probably know that you are not alone in this market. Because, well, actually right now what we see is there are several challenges and issues in the programmatic buying across the world. Well, the first is about the transparency in inventory and, well, actually the quality of the inventory that you can reach through programmatic channels of buying. The next thing is about, well, managing and synchronizing all the data you use for targeting, especially when you buy across several platforms, especially when it comes to so-called walled gardens. And this is, well, quite an issue for most of you, as I believe. And what we believe and what we would like to show today is we believe that Yandex has some solutions for both these issues when it comes to buying Russian audience and Russian inventory. Well, because the first thing is that you need a large audience to work with when you start programmatic buying. And Yandex display advertising serves ads to over 75 million users monthly. And this is actually around 96% of the whole Russian internet audience, meaning that you can actually reach everyone in Russia who uses internet with Yandex display. And we can reach all this audience on all kinds of devices that they use, so on desktop, on mobile, on tablets, and you can reach them with any kind of ad types in terms of creative, like banners, video, and even audio we can be sold programmatically through Yandex. But actually, only the amount of inventory certainly isn't enough to run efficient campaigns. And the second question is really about the quality of this inventory. And here at Yandex, we have a very strict control, first of viewability. It's actually twice as strict as the IAB standards, because we count an impression as visible only if it's been on screen of the user for 2 seconds, when IAB standard stands that, well, 1 second is enough. And to make it even more quality, so we certainly make sure that all these impressions are served to humans. And we have constantly evolving and leading fraud detection solutions that wipe out all the non-human, robotic, and fraudulent activity with advertising. So every ad, every impression that you see that is sold to you, and you see it in the UI interfaces of Yandex, it is a visible impression. And sorry. Yes, and we control this quality of contact on all levels. Well, and it's well, the way we're providing solutions on the whole stack of technologies really plays out, because we have our own tags placed around publishers, or network of publishers, and this gives us technical ability to have a really clear picture about how people interact with all the advertising and to count all the quality of contact. Also, we have a buy side of the side of technologies, where we can analyze the performance metrics, where we can analyze all the fraudulent and malevolent activities. And so seeing both sides of your campaign makes us, well, really efficient in managing the quality of inventory. And this is something that non-third-party DSP, when it's plugged in onto some SSP or an exchange, can provide, because, well, for them it's only one side visible. So going forward to the type of inventory that you can get with Yandex. The most obvious and straightforward way to buy and scale is certainly an open auction. In open auction, there is a variety of sites that you can reach just with several clicks. So it's both Yandex own properties like Yandex version, use, all those different services that people use daily. And there's also, well, tens of thousands of partners of Yandex Ad network who, well, differ. They are as well as some really popular and highly visited sites like, for example, Gizmeteor, RIA Novosti, and some many other news media sites. And there are several, well, hundreds of more specialized and smaller properties, well, like specialized in several verticals, in automobiles, in realty, and whatever else. So, and when you buy this inventory through open auction, well, we have several bidding strategies available to you to just, well, reach any goals that you want to with your campaign. To put it short, well, with you can all the strategies vary between well, the amount of control you need, manual control you want to put through your buying, and the effectiveness of buying. Because, well, the obvious start is a strategy called budget, because it's semi-automatic, because you put some dates for your campaign, you put your budget, obviously, and the maximum average CPM you want to spend. And then our engine will just optimize this campaign so that you will get the maximum amount of impressions and the maximum coverage to audience through your budget. Other strategies are more about control and manual control. So, and they have their disadvantages. For example, minimum CPM, well, you will have some cheaper impressions, but you both will cut your audience that you will reach because you won't get the most valuable impressions and the most valuable users that there are in the market. And for example, a fixed CPM, well, it's just a plain vanilla strategy when you put a CPM and you pay only as much as it's been stated, and it's very good for, well, making some plans about how much you will spend in CPM terms, but it's not that, but you will also not buy as effectively as you use automatic strategy. Next, coming to other opportunities for reaching inventory. As I have said, open auction, well, it gives you opportunity to reach tens of thousands of sites and really scale your campaigns quite, well, easily. Preferred deals is about some exclusive inventory that you won't find in an open auctions. It's about cherry picking from some sites, some inventory that they do not actually put on an auction. They price it highly, and they always, well, negotiate terms directly with advertisers, and we provide all the infrastructure for you to make this deal when you need to negotiate this fixed price for this exact ad type. And there will be some non-standard ad types, like on this example, this big banner ad on a main page of well, one of the largest and most popular business media site in Russia. And certainly it's more difficult and it takes more time to start and run such a campaign. But if you want to, well, if your goal is to adapt your audience data targeting and all the programmatic capabilities to some top-notch type of inventory exclusively for you, well, preferred deals is the most optimal tool for you to use. And as I have said, we see audience through so many devices, and that we should and we have and we do understand when one person uses this desktop, this tablet, and this mobile phone. And by default, we use all this data we use Yandex Script to understand this usage, and all of our campaigns, when they run through all our network and all our properties, they run with cross-device frequency capping. And this is, the most probably efficient way to reach your audience when they use so many devices. So going forward to speaking about targeting. It is, I will speak this quite quickly because it's quite obvious. About geo-targeting, certainly you can do this. And certainly you can do this demographic targeting on gender and age, and some income levels. It is, quite basic and used everywhere. What is more interesting is that in buying through display, you can use also a variety of audience based, for example, on search retargeting. It's a way to reach people who are now in the market for different services and goods. This data is gathered from, obviously, Yandex Search. And we have a predefined list of a wide variety of users' interests based on their search activity. And you can run a campaign quite quickly based on, run for people who are right now looking for, I don't know, pet food or automobiles, or would like to travel right now. And so it's a great way to run, these campaigns. Another way to target people is on their interests. This is about some more long-term interests of people, not when they just have searched right here, right now about I want to travel to Germany, but it's more of some kind of long-term of interest when we see them always searching, using and visiting different sites or some themes, and it's the power of data. Cheers. Meet the power of the data. Okay. Probably they have thought that, I have an interest, long-term interest in drinking water. So, okay. And moving forward, about targeting and about audience, which is basically mostly about all this buying. Last year, we have launched a new service called Yandex Audience, which is, the main hub or the main service to use data for targeting when you buy through Yandex. It lets you use first-party and third-party data to create, analyze, and manage, audience segments in just one place. There are several ways to use and, start using all this audience segmentation. I will speak about them separately, but basically the first and most obvious is like when you you have some emails and phone numbers or device IDs, you just upload it, it's all your first-party data, and then you use it. Another way is to use integration between Yandex Metrica and the Yandex App Metrica to use data about your audience on your site or on your app, respectively. The third option is using physical geolocation of users, and the fourth is, which is doesn't cover all the previous ones, is using a customizable track and pixel for some special needs. So, in more details about all these types of targeting with Yandex Audience. Using custom emails and phone numbers can come useful when you have, for example, a CRM system and you make a list of your customers that have been on your site and have purchased something several months ago, but you haven't seen them for quite a while, and you would like to just re-engage with them and drive them back to your site. So you upload all these contact details to Yandex Audience. We find people as much as we can that are your customers, and then you run a campaign to these people. Another way to use data is from your site or from your app. As I have said, there is, as far as you know, Yandex Metrica and App Metrica let you combine a lot of dimensions for analytics purposes and also for these targeting purposes, when you can just use people who were from Moscow, male, who have visited your site for several days but haven't checked out, and also run a campaign for them. Or you can use your data from your app for users who are unlikely to, for example, pay for some of your in-app purchases, and also to drive a campaign with a goal to re-engage with them. Location. Location-based segments are, generally of two types. One lets you contact people who are right here, right now, in this exact location. So you put, this mark on a map, or several marks, and you will target people who are right here and right now are online, and you push ads to them. The second way is creating segments for people who regularly coming to this or that place. For example, they work and live in some place in Moscow, and you can then target campaigns for some shops or some delivery options to them that are near their home or their work. And one of the last and interesting option is about using custom tracking pixels. It is for something that hasn't been covered in previous options, and when you just create a small line of code, a pixel, and you just push it with your creatives when you run several campaigns, and you can make a segment, practically of anything, because you can put this pixel for a video campaign and mark only people who have watched through the whole your ad, or have maybe started to watch it and have seen it to the middle, and then you create a campaign and run a banner ad targeted on them, and it's a complex approach to reaching your target audience. And speaking about every audience that I have covered, you can use them plainly, like you have uploaded some emails, or you have made a segment from Metrica and run a campaign, or you can build a lookalike. So, and as you see on the screenshot, there is, you can choose between accuracy and coverage of building a lookalike model. When you just can have a very high accuracy, but it won't be probably that much additional reach with this option. Or you can have a very great coverage, new audience that will look like for example, your highly paying users in your app, but it won't be that much accurate as another option. And the last and now type of using audience is about third-party data. It's a new launch that we have made quite recently. We've made it available for advertisers and agencies to use not only all this variety of data and targeting I have spoken about, but also data with your DMP of your choose. Because we understand that you already have been running many campaigns and have quite a lot of data gathered about your audience and about your customers, and you have segmented them in some specialized technologies, and most importantly of all, you use these DMPs to run campaigns through a variety of different platforms which all provide their own instruments for buying. And so we have integrated right now with around 6 most popular and widely used DMPs in the Russian market. Well, we are open to integrating more if you choose. And here you can use like both data, which is open market, meaning all this general interest segmentation that is available for everyone, and also some targeting segmentation that a DMP has gathered especially for you, exclusively for you, and which will be available, obviously, also only for your usage. So, a quick takeaway about all these opportunities. So, with Yandex and with display advertising, you can right now access 96% of all internet audience. And it's not only about the scale, it's also about the quality of content, because, well, we have quite a strict control of viewability and quality of all the campaigns. You can choose between the scale of open auction or cherry picking with preferred deals from top publishers, and you choose between different bidding strategies to achieve your campaign goals. We have both of our own proprietary targeting options, which will sure drive, and achieve any goal of your campaign. And right now, we can just solve the problem of moving data and synchronizing data between different closed platforms through integration with third-party DMP. So please come and use it all. Thank you.